Hello again, everybody, and welcome to episode 20 of the Board Game Nerds podcast. I'm your host, Nick, and with me, as always, is my co-host, Ayub.
Hello, hello, hello.
Ayub, the time is finally here. Top 10 board games of all time for 2024.
The 10 best numbers.
How do you feel?
I feel good, man. Like, I want to play now.
Definitely.
We definitely should do that later today.
I'm down. All right, let's not dwindle. We have a big surprise for you at the end of this episode, so let's get to it. Go ahead.
All right. My number 10 has always been in my top 10 list. It's been around 7, 8 always, and now it is dropping down to number 10, and that is Race for the Galaxy. Currently on our 3x3 list, a little bit of a hard beginning when you want to get into it. The iconography can be a little bit of a mess. I remember that way back. But now that I get it, it's just, man, you can play it fast, and it's just boom, 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 and the whole combo way and paying cards with other cards, it's just a good game. And it is I want to say, timeless classic, Race for the Galaxy.
Yeah, Race for the Galaxy was also on my list in the previous episode. It is a good game. I do prefer the Terraform Mars Ares Expedition more, but I also like Race for the Galaxy a lot. All right, my number 10 game is a completely new game that came out this year, and I played it for the first time this year, and I finished it this year, and it's a legacy game. It is Kingdom Legacy, and if you've heard my episode about it, you know how much I love this little game. It is nothing like I've ever played. It's a very small legacy game where every single card can be used in 152 billion different ways. You do crazy shit, you combo off, you try to build your kingdom, and I really love this game. My number 10, Kingdom Legacy.
If I ever become a solo game, I feel like this should be my starting point.
You know what? I think that's a good and a bad thing. It's like when somebody asks you what anime to start and you say Attack on Titan and then you set the bar too high. I feel like maybe Kingdom Legacy is that thing for board game solo. But still a good solo game.
Okay, cool. My number 9 is a game that in our play group has always been loved and still is loved. It's been higher, but it's slowly dropping downwards, as is a game where we feel like we did everything, and it is Endless Winter. We have the Fantasia Games Neo game this year from Essen, which is the Unconscious Mind, but I still prefer Endless Winter just for the pure flexibility of how nicely it flows and how simple the actions is on the board printed, and the whole idea of if you go and do that action first, you get a bonus. That's super nice and makes some extra tension for that part, and it's just a very nice worker placement deck building game. Now my number 9, Endless Winter.
What a good game. We'll probably hear about it later on. My number 9 is the second new game in my top 10 list, and it was Ayub's number 32 game, and it is Dead Cells. Dead Cells is a crazy good game. It's a roguelike. I played it a lot at PlayStation 5 before I played the actual board game, and to be fair, I did not really like the PlayStation 5 game. But the board game, oh my god, it's crazy. There are some minor errors in the first printing, but once you get past them, the game is simply amazing. It manages to keep you engaged. It flows really nicely between exploring and fighting. The fighting is very interesting in the way that it happens. You play a card, the card has 3 rows, and each row corresponds to one of the 3 rounds of combat. It can get real hard, real quick, and you have to go in a roguelike game with the feeling that I cannot win from the beginning. I will die a lot of times before I can actually do it.
Yeah, that was a pretty cool game. I enjoyed my plays, and I'm looking forward to dive more into it. So, good pick, and as Nick already said, it was up in my 30s. All right, my number 8 is the second heaviest game in my household. At least for the moment, until Nick has moved all of his games over. Then I'm sure it will still be somewhere in the top 5 or something. And it is Anachrony. What a cool game. Just bolstering up and putting your workers into these little miniatures that I now painted. It's just a crazy game of resource gathering, and the expansion with the time travel where you then blink to the sides, but you might it's a very good game, and you should try it if you haven't tried it yet. It's heavy, so you must be ready for that, and especially the expansion makes it heavy, but Anachrony. What a good worker placement game.
Yeah, I spoke a lot about Anachrony in the previous game and how the deluxified version is crazy. I actually played it solo 2 days ago for the first time, and it was pretty satisfying, I will say. I really liked it. I'm really excited to play it more.
All right.
My number 8 game dropped 4 spots from last year. It was all the way up to number 4, and it is, of course, Endless Winter. Ayub talked about it thoroughly, and I think he covered all the bases of this game. It's an amazing game. It mixes worker placement and deck building, 2 things we love. But we have gotten to the point where we are pretty adept in the game, and we can pretty much do everything. You can do this... I don't know, is it an official fix probably?
Yeah.
Where you start
variant.
the first 2, the variant, the first 2 rounds with only 2 workers. I think I want to go a step further than that maybe. Maybe have 2 workers for 3 rounds. See how that feels. Maybe it's too much, but I mean, why not? We can play around. I think we're experienced enough in the game so far. And yeah, although Fantasia came out with Unconscious Mind, I think it's clear that we both still prefer Endless Winter.
Yep. Good pick. Almost a perfect crossover
man.
again.
That's why, so close.
All right, my next game is one of the games that we disagree the most on, and that is fine. We don't always need to love the same games. I sometimes just love a good game that you don't, and that's totally fair. And this is one of Reiner Knizia's most famous games, my absolutely favorite auction game, Ra. Super hyped. So nice that you have these tiles that you're auctioning off. You don't really know when the end of the auction is. There's a little bit of a excitement there, and I'm looking forward to try the expansion, which will be out sometime next year.
Ra is a game that is being carried by Reiner Knizia. It's not a good game. It's just gambling.
Oof, you're killing yourself.
Reiner Knizia, I know I'm burning myself, but I'm pretty sure that sane board gamers out there will agree with me, and not everybody will be on Knizia's hype train. Although he's an amazing designer, probably maybe even the best designer ever, I think this game was a miss, and people, you can roast me freely. I do not mind. I said what I said.
We welcome it, especially I do. Roast him.
Of course. My number 7 game is actually a good game, and I think that you are inclined to agree. It rose 1 spot from last year, and it is The Lost Ruins of Arnak. It's Endless Winter, but better, in my opinion.
Yep.
And especially with the expansions, which I believe especially the first one is mandatory to play. It's something like Prelude for Terraforming Mars, because it introduces the leaders, a.k.a. the asymmetrical hero powers and asymmetrical decks. This game is amazing. The theme, the mechanics, the track going up, the exploration of the tiles, the monsters, everything feels like a mathematical chain of happiness. You do something to do the next thing that allows you to do the next thing, and it all flows so nicely and so thematically. I just love this game. I don't know how can you not like this game. Chris, I'm looking at you. Yeah, and it's just an amazing game.
Yeah, I totally agree. What a good pick.
Thank you.
My number 6 is the last of the big 4 we brought back from Essen, and that is Minas. I just love this game. You know it. We know it. If you listen about our last 3x3, you will also hear me be very excited about that. And I'm really looking forward to see how it will feel again now with a different player count. We played it a lot too in the end, and we played it 4 and 3 only once in the beginning. And I feel like those are the best player counts. And even with that in mind, I really love the whole dice drafting and card play mechanic of the 2-player game as well. My number 6, Minas.
Yeah, Minas was like one of the biggest surprises, I think, because looking at it, it seemed like another one of those games. But having actually played it now a few times, I can say that this game is amazing. My number 6 game rose 1 spot from last year, and that is mainly because I got the expansion for it, and it is Paladins of the West Kingdom. This game is amazing. It's like one of the heaviest games in my personal collection, and it is a worker placement game where you place workers on your own tableau. The expansion added a new track that you can go on, not a track, a tracker that you can increase alongside the other 3. I've talked about it in full detail, and I believe that you should listen to that episode if you want to get an idea of how you actually can play this monstrosity of a game. It has an amazing solo version. I really love playing it solo. I would almost argue I prefer it to 2 players. Of course, never play 3 or 4. But solo or 2 players is like definitely the way to go. And you can increase the difficulty simply by just placing more, what are they called? The green things? Not factories. Anyway,
Yeah.
it is a pretty good game. I really love it. I think it will always be in my collection. My number 6, Paladins of the West Kingdom.
Cool. Yeah. And it was earlier up on my list around the 50th, and I played it less, but I remember, especially after the third game, I started feeling like, okay, I think it starts to make sense now. So, yeah, cool pick. My number 5 is just my number 6, a dice drafting game. But this one is way older, and that is Grand Austria Hotel.
Crazy.
I just really adore how you, in the beginning, you take these customers on your board and you need to figure out how to give them these resources. Whenever you finish a customer, of course, they also give you points, but they also do a ton of other stuff, giving you new resources, giving you money, moving you up a track, all of that stuff. And it's just a very nice Euro game. And I really like the dice drafting part of this as well. That will decide how much you get of the different resources, money, and all of that stuff. Cool game, Grand Austria Hotel.
Yeah, it was early in my list, and it's a really good game. Crazy that it's number 5. What was it last year? Was it in the top 10 as well?
It was number 10.
Crazy.
So it just rose a little bit. Yeah.
Jumped 5 spots. That's insane.
It is insane. I agree.
Okay, my number 5 game is Ark Nova. No introductions needed. It recently rose to the number 3 spot on BGG. This is just an amazing game where you build your zoo, you build the enclosures, you buy the animals, you play some sponsors. It's actually an action selection game where you pick one of the 5 actions that you do. Depending on where it is in your board, it's stronger or weaker, and then you move it down and you keep doing it until the 2 tracks that go around the tableau meet. It's an amazing game. I wish I had something else to say, but I think we've talked about it so much that it's redundant. Ark Nova, my number 5 game.
Yeah, good pick.
And also, it stayed in the exact same spot as last year.
That is also a good sign of a game being very good. My number 4 was also my number 4 last year. And the year before that. It is a stable game. It is an amazing engine builder where you go nuts. Another person in this room loved that planet way more than anybody else I know. And the game is, of course, Terraforming Mars.
Decent game.
Not going to say too much about it. I'm just going to mention that the way it evolves from the beginning towards the end of the game, how you feel about, I can do so much now, is a really, really, really nice feeling. And we just love engine builders. So, my number 4, Terraforming Mars.
Yeah, it's good. It has some flaws, but overall, decent game.
Yeah.
Nothing special. My number 4, it dropped 1 spot from last year, and it is Heroes of Might and Magic 3, the board game. Huge sentimental value, as I played the video game when I grew up a lot. When I saw this coming out, I'm like, insta-buy, insta-lock, and I did not regret it. It has an amazing solo mode, it has an amazing PvP mode, it has an amazing co-op mode, and usually when games have different modes of play, I'm really worried about it, but trust me, this one does not. If you played the video game growing up and you are a board gamer, I say press click right now. If not, then you can definitely try it, but it's not for everyone. It has some clunkiness, but overall I feel like it's an amazing experience. And trust me, it is an experience to play this game. It's huge, it's nice, you have a character, he evolves, he goes over the map, he gathers resources, he fights. It's just an overall amazing experience.
All right, cool, yeah. And it was very high for many people and a crazy Kickstarter that went super high straight away with how many backers and all of that jazz. Cool. My number 3 is also a game I loved ever since I owned it, and it is Ascension Tactics. I got to play it again recently, just a few days ago, and a scenario I haven't done in a long time, and I got to try it from both sides, and do I just enjoy this game? Do I just enjoy having these champions that you can work around with your deck building actions? So you can buy cards that gives you power, which are what you use to move these champions around and attack, and also sometimes attack certain things in the card row, or you can get more runes you use to buy other cards that will either power up your champion or whatever, and then just a ton of scenarios, all versus all, 2 versus 2, co-op, and many maps for the general 1 versus 1 and 2 versus 2, which is what I have been going into. I love this game. I love how it feels to put items under your champion. I love how you somehow can come back from different situations, and in general, just how the mini scenario works. My number 3, Ascension Tactics.
Demon Slayer for the effing win.
I played him when I played recently.
Good
that was
pick.
Cool.
He's a goat.
Yeah.
All right. My number 3 game dropped 1 spot from last year, from 2 to 3. And it is a game that I really enjoyed playing with a specific friend of mine, and it is Pathfinder Adventure card game. I've spent a lot of time playing a lot of board games. Pathfinder is by far the game I've spent the most time playing. We've finished every single scenario, every single campaign, in every single difficulty. We've gathered every single expansion from all around the globe. We went hunting for those, and some of them were really, really hard to acquire. It is an amazing game. Pathfinder is not my favorite IP. I definitely prefer D&D to that, but definitely Pathfinder Adventure card game is a very unique and amazing experience. The whole concept is you have a character and he has a deck of cards that you improve as you play, and that deck is both his equipment and his life. So, I as a card gamer want to draw a lot of cards, but if my deck at any point runs out, I die. And it's just a crazy thing. Do I go greedy, draw cards, or do I go conservative, not draw cards? And that translates so good into the game. Just to give you an example, if let's say, for example, I'm playing a tank character like a barbarian, I only draw 4 cards, which means I have a small hand size, a little options, but I'm not dying easily because I only draw 4. And at the end of every round, you drop your hand size, right? But if you're playing a wizard, then you have a hand size of 7, which means you have a lot of options, but you have to fill your hand size at the end of the turn. So you can die easily. And your deck, your starting deck is 15 cards. So a wizard can just die in 2 turns if he's not careful. It is amazing. I really want to play it again. I don't see how it will happen, but it may. We never know. My number 3, Pathfinder Adventure card game.
Yeah, I never played this, but it definitely sounds very interesting.
Yeah.
Is there a lot of characters? Now you mentioned a barbarian and a wizard.
Do you want to guess how many characters we have?
Oh, I mean, since you've been getting expansions from every part of the world.
Okay, I will help you a little bit.
Yeah?
The base game has 6.
Whoa. Then, I don't know, 18?
18. You were close. We have more than 150.
150 characters?
Yes.
What?
When we begin a new campaign with this friend of mine, we dedicate an entire session just picking character.
That is crazy.
And they are so... For example, you can now we have 150, right? There are like almost 20 classes, which means we have like 3 or 4 choices from each class. And even within the class, the different wizards, for example, are so different from one another. It is crazy. It's so good.
Okay, that is crazy.
It's so good.
And you... Okay. I'm just baffled. That is crazy. Okay. Cool. Yeah. And in general, I know this game has gotten a lot of love from people all over the world, so...
Exactly.
It must be good. Cool. My number 2, we heard a little bit about, and it is Nick's number 5, I think it was, Ark Nova.
Yes.
Ark Nova, I mean, like Nick said, it's now number 3 in BGG. If you listening to this podcast, you should know Ark Nova by now. But as I mentioned in one of the earlier episodes, it has the same thing as Boon Lake, where you have these 5 actions, and the higher up the action is on your board, the stronger it is if it is on the 5 spot. Then whenever you play an action, you'll slide it down to the 1 spot and push everything else up. Man, such a straightforward, good idea for a game that not only works very well for you to make strategies, but also helps people coming into the game, because the base idea of understanding this action is better while it's up here is so straightforward. And then, of course, the whole theme of building a zoo and, just super nice. So, my number 2, Ark Nova.
Very good game. My number 2 is a new entry to the list. It's definitely not a new game, but it's a game I played for the first time this year. I've been waiting to play this game, man, for maybe a decade, maybe more. I finally got my hands on it. Yanis, my friend, cheers to him that he gave it to me at Essen, and it is Mage Knight. And it is amazing. People, if you're sleeping on Mage Knight, wake up, play it. It has a very big learning curve, but once you get to learn it, the game feels amazing. If you are a solo gamer, I believe it's mandatory that you own a copy of Mage Knight. Just for the hard winter nights, you know. Of course, it can take a while to play a single game of it. It can take like anywhere from 2 to 4 hours. But there are some shorter scenario, and I believe it's a beast of a game. It's an amazing experience. I'm really excited. I haven't played it more than one player yet, but I'm really excited too. You have a character. It's a lot like Heroes of Might and Magic, I think. Like, they have so many similarities, but I just feel like Mage Knight is, I will say it now, it's better. It is better. Although it's older, although it's clunkier, I think like it's a lot better than Heroes. Totally recommended. Ayub, we should definitely play it. My number 2, Mage Knight.
Yeah, and it's also high on your list, so it makes sense you think it's better. When you want to play it too, is it co-op or is it
co-op?
Dueling against each other?
Co-op?
I don't know if it's like a dungeon.
Might you, man. No. Well, it's definitely opponents.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
There might be co-op scenarios, I don't know, but it's by definition, it's no, we're against each other, and we actually gain victory points. That's how we win.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Interesting. We are now at the number 1 game.
Peak.
The things where we now will keep this as a baby to our dear heart forever. Do I love this game? Nick mentioned it earlier in this top 10, and it is Lost Ruins of Arnak. The characters are, like Nick said, mandatory for the game. They make your way of playing so different from the other ones. And with the second expansion, you get 2 extra characters, which also felt like completely different. And you have the multiple boards you can flip. You have the multiple temple tracks you can go up to that you can also flip to different sides. And then just a big pile of cards. And you go out and explore new worker placement spots. It's a bit expensive. Not that much, but it's a bit expensive to find the new spots. But then once you found it, they are almost just as cheap as all the other spots. So now people will fight for those spots as well. I remember hearing in another review video, the board game Bollocks around his top 30, 40s or something. He had Arnax and he said, by its own right, it should not be this good, but it is that good. And I agree, and I mean, I love it even more. I'm always down to play this game. It's an amazing game. My number 1, The Lost Ruins of Arnak.
I hear it's a good game.
Very good.
All right. My number 1 game of all time, the one and only Reiner Knizia, is Ra.
Lies.
Of course it's not. It is Terraforming Mars. This is the 6th year in a row that Terraforming Mars is my number 1 game. And the way the board game scene is looking, I don't see it changing. Not because we don't get good games, just because I like Terraforming Mars that much. You don't need a lot of the expansions out there to play it. Just getting Prelude would get you your best result. Every other expansion just adds to the experience. For those of you out there that are still sleeping under a rock, I will wake you up a little bit and tell you that this is an engine building game where you can go nuts. You start very slow, but you slowly progress, and your goal is to terraform the planet. You do this all together, but you all score differently on how good you did it. The one who did it best wins the game. Of course, there are many layers to this, and this is way more complicated than I'm letting out now, but it is an amazing game. We did an episode where we talked about both Lost Ruins of Arnak and Terraforming Mars. You should definitely go and listen to that. Terraforming Mars is amazing. Ayub has it real low. I don't know why he's lying to himself. My number 1 game, Terraforming Mars.
Real low. You have it real high. No, but very good game. Very good pick. And yeah, those were our top 50 board games of all time. Mind you, if you are following us on Instagram, you'll see how much we'll play, and that sometimes things are subject to change, but most of the very good games here in the high end of the list have stayed there for a long time and probably will, unless something crazy happens. But yeah, how are you feeling, Nick?
I'm feeling amazing. I did want to mention that there were a few games that I played last minute that were not on the list and were pretty good. Is it okay if I mention them?
Yeah, do it.
It was Lord of the Rings Duel for Middle-earth. I did not rank it. I don't know why. I'm just dumb. And then I played Daybreak, which is an amazing co-op game. And then I played also Dungeon Roll, which is also a very good game. Those 3 games, they could have been in my top 100, top 50, but they were not there. Probably next year we'll see them.
Yeah.
Do you have any regrets?
Yeah, I also have 2 games. One is Pandemic Legacy, as I'm going through right now. Not that I'm not regretting putting it on. I'm just not far enough to actually rate it like that. And the second one being Golden Cup that we played recently, and I forgot we played it. Just as I was ranking it, I didn't write it down in time. So those two, yeah.
Cool. And that will actually conclude our 20th episode. Wow, we've been doing this for 20 weeks now. How do you feel?
I feel good,
crazy.
yeah.
Yeah.
It was a little bit rougher for us to, I think personally, to record what was lost. We mentioned this in the beginning for the top 50 again. I still enjoy it, but I mean, that's what happens, and we can't bring all our love into it the second time just as much, although we do our best.
Exactly.
So I hope you bear over with that if you're listening to this, but we always love to talk about board games and the board games you like to talk about.
And just to try and give back to you, we've been mentioning this surprise we have for you over the last 5 episodes, and that is that we are officially, as of 2nd of January 2025, we are opening our Patreon account. If you're not familiar with Patreon, it's a service where you can support us by paying any amount you want. We have 3 different tiers as of right now, and you can get different extra bonus audio. You can request game for us to play and all different things. The link will be in the description of our Instagram. Any questions you have about it, you can contact us, and we really, really are very thankful for all your support so far. We would not have been able to get this far if we didn't have you spamming us with messages, with likes, with responses. It's just amazing to see people respond to what we do and love, because, trust us, we freaking love board games. Ayub has played more board games this year than anyone I personally know.
It is crazy. Yeah. When I saw it, so our app did like Spotify does, the year wrapped up. I was like, what is this? So yeah, I think I will have ended up playing more than 300 of the days in the year, which is meaning there will only be like 65 days.
Now we have a challenge, We need to play more next year.
Oh, yeah. Every year is going to be like this.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We can do it, I think.
Easy.
Yeah. All right. That wraps it up. Thank you all so much for listening. This was Nick.
This was Ayub.
And thank you for listening to the Board Game Nerds podcast. See you next time.